Welcome, and thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Jamal Rossi, the Joan and Martin Messinger Dean of the Eastman School of Music at the University of Rochester. This coming September, we will kick off a year-long celebration of our school's centennial, for it was in September 1921 when the first students enrolled in the newly established Eastman School of Music. Our centennial will be filled with world premiere performances of new music compositions. We will host lectures, symposia, and national conferences, and we will celebrate the contributions to music and society by generations of alumni. Tonight, it is a thrill for me to announce the launch of the Centennial campaign for the Eastman School of Music. In doing so, we celebrate a legacy of musical excellence, education, and innovation. Now, the best way to celebrate Eastman is through music. In just a few moments, we will have the opportunity to hear festival music, a marvelous fanfare composed in honor of the Centennial by Stephen Daniel, an Eastman alumnus, and performed by the Eastman Wind Ensemble under the direction of Professor Mark Scatterday. Fanfares have been composed and performed for centuries to announce and celebrate an important or special event, which is certainly the case tonight. A little later, we will also hear two pieces performed by the Sequoia Reed Quintet, an innovative student group that combines tradition and innovation in a highly energetic and creative way. We are also joined tonight by several people who are very close to Eastman, who will share the important place that music holds in their lives. We are so honored to have with us University of Rochester President Sarah Mangelsdorf, who has been a stalwart champion of Eastman since her arrival in Rochester last year. I'm also so grateful to our campaign co-chairs, Robin and Tim Wentworth, Joan Beal, and Kathy Minahan, for their commitment to Eastman and for their efforts on behalf of the future of our school. The Centennial campaign for the Eastman School of Music is kicking off tonight with great momentum. We've already raised more than $50 million of our $100 million goal. The funds raised through this campaign will help us inspire future generations by providing critically important scholarship support to our students, by continuing to hire and retain extraordinary faculty members, and by enhancing program support to advance musical innovation. Thank you to those who have already contributed to this campaign by establishing scholarships, endowed professorships, and program support. Your generosity is deeply appreciated. Being here now in Kodak Hall at Eastman Theater, I'm reminded of the orchestras, the ensembles, the soloists, and many others who have performed on this stage since the days of George Eastman and Rush Reese, the two visionaries who built this remarkable school. They started a musical legacy that is now up to us to extend into the future. I am constantly inspired by the words that are etched on the facade of this theater, erected for the enrichment of community life. If ever music was called upon to enrich lives and communities across the world, it has been during the past year of a terrible global pandemic. For 100 years, Eastman alumni have enriched the communities where they live through their artistry, their scholarship, leadership, innovation, and community engagement, the hallmarks of an Eastman education. At Eastman, my colleagues and I talk about educating the whole musician. With that philosophy, we try to instill in our students the value that who you are as a person has everything to do with who you will be as a musician. We are engaged in preparing our students for life, not merely a career, and we endeavor to inspire them to constantly explore approaches to their art and craft so they can make their mark on the future. We are proud to be one of the 7 schools of the University of Rochester with nearly 20% of our students who are pursuing a dual degree at Eastman and in the College of Arts, Sciences, and Engineering. We are inviting you tonight to join us on this quest of transforming lives through the power of music. Eastman alumni, parents, donors, and friends have always been generous with their time and their talent. And through their philanthropy, they have helped create the Eastman legacy that has been established during the last century. We are so grateful to all who have given generously in the past and tonight we are writing a new chapter for Eastman's story. With your support, we can enroll the future generations of students who will strive to make the world a better place through their music. With your support, we can inspire these students through great teaching and musical experiences. And with your support, we can ensure a bright future for one of the world's great music schools. My friends, over this past year of challenges caused by the pandemic, I have been completely inspired and awed by the commitment our students demonstrated because of their desire to make music together. In fact, it was so much more than a desire, it was a fundamental need to be together to make music. Our students reinforce something I have always known, that making and sharing music is a human imperative. Music lies at the very essence of our humanity. I am so optimistic about the future of music, knowing that today's Eastman students will be at the forefront of shaping that future. Please consider joining us in this campaign to ensure that the Eastman School of Music will always be an essential leader in preparing the musicians who will enrich our lives. As I stated at the beginning, let's celebrate Eastman with what we do best, fantastic music. Please enjoy the Eastman Wind Ensemble under the direction of Mark Scatterday, performing the world premiere of Stephen Danu's fanfare, Festival Music.
Hello, I'm Sarah Mangelsdorf, President of the University of Rochester, and it's my great pleasure to speak to you about our marvelous Eastman School of Music and our campaign to keep it at the forefront of music education around the world. A campaign as important as this requires great leadership, and we have that in Eastman Dean Jamal Rossi and the campaign co-chairs Joan Beal, Kathy Minahan, and Robin and Tim Wentworth, who have all been great supporters of our world-class School of Music. I am so thankful that they have taken on such a vital role for such a vital institution. I say vital because music and Eastman's role in it has been vital to the human experience since Eastman's founding 100 years ago. As we celebrate Eastman's Centennial, we're also celebrating its long-standing reputation as a place where the world's best musicians come together to reach new levels of creativity, virtuosity, and global impact. It's truly a unique and special community where artistry, scholarship, and innovation rise to new heights. Eastman's magic is that it doesn't just nurture individual talent, it empowers our students to use their gifts to uplift and inspire. And it exemplifies what Dean Rossi so eloquently calls the power of music to transform lives. I know this from my own experience. Many people can say they grew up in a house filled with music, but I grew up in a house full of musicians. My father religiously played in his Dixieland Jazz Band, even insisting on performing at my wedding reception. And my mother was a singer. I may not have appreciated how special it was to be enveloped in music then, but now it wouldn't feel quite right without having some music in my life every day. Experiences like mine are why music and this campaign for Eastman are so important. That importance has been amplified over the past year, a year in which our sense of community and even our sense of humanity has been severely tested. But I am confident that music will bring us back together, and that Eastman faculty, students, and alumni will make the music that reestablishes our cultural and personal connections, motivates us, and stimulates conversation. My husband Carl and I feel so strongly about Eastman and the transformative power of music that we established a scholarship at Eastman. We did this to celebrate Eastman's past, present, and future, to preserve its legacy in Rochester, and to support the faculty and students who will make great music for generations to come. So now we're asking all people who love music and who believe in its transformative power to bring people together, to support Eastman through this campaign. We are now going to hear from our campaign co-chairs who have generously supported Eastman. You too can help continue Eastman's preeminent production of quality music that enriches lives, lifts spirits, and nourishes souls around the world.
So I'll just start us out by saying it's so wonderful to see all of our co-chairs together on the screen. Thank you for getting together so we can talk about the campaign. This is just such an exciting time for us. You know, I just wanted to share why I do this, and it's really because of my dad. My late father, Erwin Sapiro, was an Eastman grad, and he was a trumpet performance major and a music education major. So for me, growing up, music making was just what you did, right? In school, you sang in choir, you played in band, you practiced piano. And of course, as an adult, now I realize how fortunate I was to have music education as part of my growing up. You know, we want to encourage the next generation of music educators, the next generation of performers. It's important that we keep this legacy going so that all kids can have this experience. And, you know, Kathy, I was thinking, you didn't graduate from Eastman, but you have Eastman connections. And I would love for you to just share, like, why have you done this? Why are you being so generous? Why are you giving back right now?
Well, Joan, it's because of people like you, for sure. When I was growing up, there weren't a lot of leadership things that women could do. Sports weren't like they are today. So when you got involved in music, in the orchestra, in the band, it was all such an important part of growing up and learning to rely on yourself for the skills that you could work on and that you could improve on and that you could feel good about and that you could really demonstrate to a whole group of people. And then I saw that when my daughter was growing up. She ran into a little bit of issues, third, fourth grade, but it was music that really helped her find herself and believe in herself when other things about school weren't going so well. So I just look at music as an absolutely foundational experience. And when I think about being associated on the Rochester board with the Eastman School of Music, where such fantastic people learn and play, I just feel such a sense of happiness and pride that I've been able to carry this through my whole life, how much music has done for me, and now how much I can help do for Eastman.
Beautiful.
You know, Tim and Robin, I know you're both musicians, and I bet your children, the fact that they're musicians or musically inclined as well, and how you see that that's contributed to their growing up.
Oh, hugely. I guess if Tim doesn't mind, I'll start by saying that just, as a young piano student growing up in Rochester, I always knew that the Eastman School of Music was held, if you had a degree from Eastman, you were held in very high regard. And most of my piano teachers and other music educators were Eastman grads. So when we had our 3 daughters, we thought we wanted music education to be very much a part of their upbringing. So all 3 went on to be, quite accomplished amateur musicians. And this is a way now, years later, we are able to be connected to the Eastman in such a meaningful way.
I mean, our middle daughter, Elizabeth, got a scholarship to Rochester. It said to her, "We want you.
Mm-hmm.
We want you." And that made all the difference. And it was the most expensive scholarship ever, because ever since then, Robin and I have been paying that back, because the university delivered hugely in our daughter's development. So it's a really powerful message to a student.
My dad used to say, it's okay if you're an amateur musician. That just means you love what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of us amat, for those of us who love music, even if it's not our profession, it's a passion that we have, that we want to share, and we know that it can help other people. So, I just have to thank you for your generosity. It just means so much to Eastman and our community. And I just can't wait till we can all be together again to sit and hear a concert and see our live students performing and feel the vibrations of music all around us, and just to celebrate all that Eastman has offered all of us in our community for the last 100 years. So I thank you for that. And I want to turn it back to Jamal now.
Thank you, Joan, Kathy, Tim, and Robin. Your enthusiastic leadership and tremendous support of Eastman are deeply appreciated. Next, we have a fabulous student ensemble, the Sequoia Reed Quintet, performing Preludium, a movement of Grieg's Holberg Suite and Cherry, a movement from Splinter, written by 1988 Eastman graduate Mark Mellitz. Here is the Sequoia Reed Quintet. Thank you for that marvelous performance. And thanks to all of you for being a part of celebrating our distinguished history and our commitment to artistry, education, and musicianship. As you've seen and heard tonight, Eastman is home to dedicated, passionate musicians who want to make the world a better place through their music. To be a part of Eastman is to be a part of enriching life and making the world ever better. I encourage you all to think about the place of music in your lives. How has it brought you joy, or moved you, or inspired you, or made your life better? If it has, then I encourage you to join us. Please help us make Eastman stronger, help us inspire more young people, and help us bring music to more lives. To everyone who is with us tonight, thank you, good evening, and Meliora.